Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Newsbeat presented to you by Ladies Like. Follow the beat from the studio to the street. Info with the flow keeps you sharp and in the know. Sit back, relax, enjoy the news. Follow. Nigeria is one of the 26 African countries where meningitis is most prevalent, as it lies on the meningitis belt of the African continent, which stretches from the Sahel region to the Horn of Africa. However, Nigeria's recent meningitis outbreak has been the worst so far. The disease is believed to have been brought into Nigeria from one of its neighboring countries, as initial vaccination proved ineffective to this new strain of meningitis because it required a different type of vaccine. The seasonal outbreak was also attributed to low humidity and dry winds, and was aggravated by traditional beliefs, overpopulation and poor hygiene. Almost 300 people have lost their lives to the disease over the past weeks, and over 2,000 suspected cases have been recorded in the wake of health crisis. There are also fears that places like police cells, prisons and camps for refugees could further fuel the spread of meningitis disease. However, after having a major shortfall of vaccines at the beginning of the outbreak, the Nigerian government got the required vaccine to put the disease in check, as children from ages of 1 to 29 are to be vaccinated against meningitis in every Nigerian state. The crop destroying worms known as fall armyworms, believed to have come from South America, have devastated crop yields and caused famine conditions in southern parts of Africa. Follow our reporter Oki Forever with this report. Follow the flow and don't miss a word.
The relentless pests which often spread in large numbers are actually moth, and in caterpillar form, they consume nearly all the plants they come across. Uganda has confirmed the presence of the crop-destroying worms across the country, as 20 out of 111 districts are now affected by the pests according to Uganda's Agriculture Ministry. The armyworms destroyed 40% of the maize crops in the first 3 areas that they have invaded and left countless farmers devastated. In Bale district, the pest has been reported in 9 sub-countries, but Luwero is the most affected district in the whole country. And although the Ugandan government has put aside 1 billion shillings for an emergency response, fighting the pest has proved difficult since it's resistant to common pest control chemicals. And as a quarantine pest, it poses a severe threat of infestation, which could potentially affect Uganda's food trade with other nations. Scientists have also warned that the pest could enter Kenya's villages that neighbor Uganda's affected areas and worsen Kenya's food shortages, which would have severe impacts on crop production and nutrition and heavily affect the livelihood in the region. I'm Oki Forever, reporting for Newsbeat.
A Tanzanian rapper was arrested over a song, and speaking his mind is what he did wrong. Here is another story from our reporter Polo Raps, digging up the news and wrapping it back in order.
Emmanuel Alibariki, known as Naiwa Mitego, is a rapper popular for his critical flow. If he sees something off, he won't let it go, be it the government or an artist that he knows. But his recent song got him into some trouble. His questions popped the government's bubble. He asked if there was still freedom of expression, and his answer was instant detention. The song was posted all over social media, and this was after the president warned the media to be careful. They don't have freedom to that extent, especially if they criticize the government. Magufuli has been under pressure, and scrutiny critics accused him of undermining democracy. Citizens were arrested for Facebook comments or any communication that insults the government. Naiwa Mitego, also known as Nai True Boy, was caught up in a confusing government ploy. Was it the government that ordered his arrest, or did the police do what they thought was best? Was he released because he was proven innocent, or was it to spare the government from embarrassment? No one knows if Tanzania has much to fear, but at least one thing is clear. The arrest of the rapper has posed many questions about the intentions of Magufuli's administration. I'm Polo Raps, reporting for Newsbeat.
That was Polo Raps with the news on the beat. Check it online if you need a repeat. The unseen challenge of being a writer is that Ugandans have a poor reading culture. Even if you write the best words on paper, who will buy your book? We barely read the papers. Nyana Kakoma is a director of so many stories. The lack of readers is one of her major worries, but she has a plan to change the future, a way to nurture Uganda's reading culture. Nyana Kakoma was born in Kampala. From a young age, she read starting with Luganda and kept it up through high school at Gayaza. She worked in PR as a journalist and editor, but her true passion was to be a publisher. When Nyana used to tour markets and bookshops, there were few Ugandan writers on the shelf. So she started a blog for Ugandan writers, and in 2014 it grew into something bigger, a publishing house with a lot to offer, humbly set up at her house in the boys' quarters. Nyana has 2 employees with unmatched passion, and last year she published her first poetry collection. But the plan was more than publishing prose and poetry. She wanted to cultivate the readers of Ugandan stories. The next step was to start book clubs for every age, for adults, teens and for kids at the fireplace. Nyana wants the best for Ugandan writers, to have the bestsellers being bought beyond Ugandan borders. But everything starts with changing the reading culture. That was the news on the beat. Next week will be another hit. Still Ladies Like. reporting live and direct with love and respect. Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.